Today on Getting Real with the Housewives, Andy Cohen shares his thoughts on Louis' return to Jersey.
It was just their level of hatred was at a 10.
Plus, Shannon Beador explains why she and John will never get back together.
I've never felt as strongly for another person in my life than I did for John, and he the same.
And Bethenny Frankel shares her advice for the royal rift, and Teresa and her brother Joe. We've got that plus so much more on today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly executive producer Mandy Camp, and welcome to our first non-Jersey week of Getting Real with the Housewives.
Woo, I'm celebrating. I'm excited to move on from Jersey for a bit.
Me too. Not like we won't be talking about it, but we won't be recapping an episode. But you guys had a lot to say about last week's show, so let's kick it off with RC says, Tamra was dirty drunk while raging at Shannon, and we all know there's no use in trying to communicate with the drunk. Cute when you're 23, cute when you're a 23-year-old, unbecoming for a senior woman. I think she's in her 50s.
55. I feel like that's not quite senior these days. Good comment. Janet Martin said, Teresa, Louis, and her girls need to get off the show and take Jennifer with them. They are ruining the show, not running the show, ruining the show.
You know, well, we'll have to see what Andy has to say coming up. And then Marie says, I think David is purposely getting pictures with and pretending to get along with Shannon to make him look better with his case and cases with his estranged wife. Like, look at me, my ex-wife of a bazillion years, and I are still friendly. I'm not a bad guy, and maybe he's not, but I still think his sudden interest in posting and demanding pictures with Shannon are calculated. I kind of have to agree with this one as well.
Totally. I think we said it last week too. Something's fishy about that to me.
Seems a little opportunistic.
All right. Elena says it's not bringing them closer. He's got no one left. So now Shannon isn't looking so bad to him. Maybe she'll keep him relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people I see right through David.
Yes.
All right, let's move on over to the news of the week. And Bethenny Frankel has some advice for Teresa Giudice, Joe Gorga, Prince William, and Prince Harry on how to repair their strained sibling bonds, because I'm sure that they were wondering what Bethenny had to say about this. She shared a TikTok video saying, my feelings is that whether it's William and Harry or Teresa and Joe, the spouses have to stay out of it. The two siblings need to lock themselves in a room with the right person. I have a great suggestion. I would pay them to do this and work this out on their own. I feel like this is like a TV show in the making. Bethenny was primarily referring to, obviously, the ongoing feud between Teresa and Joe, which has been the main drama over the course of this past season. And then, you know, Harry and William, we don't really even have to explain that one, but it has to come to Meghan and all this stuff. And Bethenny added, because one day, God forbid, someone has a health issue, something goes on with one of the kids, there are weddings, there's other things, and then they're going to wish that they had made up for lost time. It's so true. She advised them to sit down with a mediator to hash out their problems before it's too late, saying the two siblings need to work out, not because blood is thicker than water, just because they're family and they love each other and they're going to regret it if they don't do it now. I mean, even I think Joe said on the reunion, like, you know, if you ever need anything, if you're ever in a car accident, something like that, I'd be there for you. But it shouldn't have to come to a point where there's a crisis, then that's where you need to.
Yeah, don't you want to spend time with them while they're still here and healthy? And, you know, it's like to only be there in a tragedy. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bethenny, I think should just her podcast name should just be Unsolicited Advice, because I just feel like Harry and William do not need Bethenny Frankel's advice, but maybe they do. You know, maybe
they do. Maybe they're at their wits' end. They have nowhere left to turn, and they're like, you know what, Bethenny Frankel, skinny girl margarita. Let's see what she has to say.
I love it. Well, Andy Cohen has a special relationship with each and every housewife, of course, but in his new book, The Daddy Diaries, The Year I Grew Up, he talked about how his bond with Tamra Judge is different. So the Bravo executive producer revealed how Judge reacted after he mentioned their sexual chemistry in his book. During his appearance on Howard Stern's show on June 15th, he said, I heard from Tamra after, and she was like, so what's happening with us? What is this? She has shown me every incarnation of her breasts, of her bare breasts. She has at one point or another flashed me, shown me. Cohen, who's a single father to son Benjamin and daughter Lucy, recalled his most outrageous memories with Tamra. He said, I hosted a live New Year's Eve debacle on Bravo one year. I think the 2011 into 2012, and I think she and I made out at midnight on the air in front of her husband, Eddie. So I'm not pulling that out of a hat necessarily. He went on to say there's definitely a safety in straight women flirting with a gay man. He said, God knows I've asked her about her breasts enough that I'm sure at some point she was like, well, let me just show you. I'm sure if I was straight, maybe she wouldn't have done that. I feel fortunate to be able to be a part of the discussion.
No, that's hysterical. It definitely seems like he and Tamra have quite the history together. You know,
Yeah.
she's been there for almost the beginning, and I guess they feel very comfortable with one another.
They do. I get that with Tamra. Like, I feel like I know her, and obviously I don't know
Yes.
her. But there's a comfortability with her, like kind of a
Mhm.
realness that I think I'm always team Tamra, you know.
Always team Tamra. All right. Well, moving over to Kim Zolciak. Obviously, she's been in the news for the nonstop divorce drama with Kroy, but her daughters actually wished Kroy a happy Father's Day. So Brielle captioned a photo of herself and Kroy on June 18th with the caption "Happy Father's Day." She recently unfollowed Kroy on social media, then refollowed him again. Now, Ariana, their other daughter, showed off her Father's Day festivities, which included backyard pyrotechs with Kroy and her brothers. And she explained that she rescheduled her virtual book club to spend time with her family and added another photo of herself and Brielle with Kroy saying, "Happy Father's Day. I love you, Biermann," which is interesting since, you know, there's so much drama going on and that's not his biological children.
Right.
So, you know, maybe that people thought that they were going to side with her mother. But there's a lot of drama going on between the two of them, and it's just really nasty. But it's nice to see that you know, the kids are necessarily taking sides, at least not on
Or
social
is
media.
this them taking sides by showing?
Right, that's true.
You know, it made me
That
feel
is true.
like, is she okay with this? But I'm glad
Right.
he did. You know, he is a father figure to them for many,
Yeah.
many years now. So I felt like it was nice of them to do so, but who knows what's really
No,
going
you're
on.
right. It could be alliances are forming. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, speaking of splits, we have yet another housewife split. Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels have called it quits after 11 years of marriage. The Real Housewives of Potomac alum filed for divorce from the former NFL player in Maryland. The Montgomery County Family Court told multiple outlets on Tuesday, confirming the news. Monique reportedly filed a petition to have the legal documents sealed. She also filed a complaint for absolute divorce in April and filed an amended complaint on June 15th, according to court documents. So 8 months before the pair split, Monique shut down divorce rumors. She said, "Chris, what you have to say about all this?" Monique, who tied the knot with her estranged husband in March 2012, told her fans in an Instagram story after noting that she had just returned from hiking all day. The retired athlete responded by directing fans to his wife's store, Shop Mila Eve. The reality star laughed and showed her diamond engagement ring, but obviously that was short-lived.
Yes, short-lived, sad. It's always, you know, I guess when you go on the Housewives shows, you're running the risk of, you know, marriages imploding. It seems like this is a trend, but sad for her. Hopefully it's a, you know, smooth and easy divorce, but, you know, breakups aren't uncommon, as Shannon Beador knows, because she and John, you know, broke up a few months back, and we recently talked to her about why they will never get back together despite being friends at the moment. Take a look. I know that you and David have been seen a few times together at the graduation. Congratulations. It's so exciting for your girls. I mean, do you feel like this has opened the door for a better co-parenting relationship?
I mean, fingers crossed. I hope so. Because we have had zero co-parenting relationship, and I'm just hopeful that that we can continue. Do I think we're ever going to be good friends? No, I do not. But I will do whatever it takes for the sake of my kids, because they don't need that added stress of you know, being a go-between between the two of us. So we'll see.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine that the two of you would even be posing for pictures together?
No. He walked into The Quiet Woman, and I said, "You need to take a picture with me so we can send it to the kids." I had no intention of posting it. And then about a half hour later, he said, he saw how excited the kids were. I said, he said, "You can go ahead and post it." And I had a big piece of food in my teeth. Really? That's the stuff that happens to me.
Do you still hold a lot of resentment towards him, or do you feel like you have moved on and kind of put that in the past?
I've moved on, but do I have feelings about my past with him? Absolutely. And they're not all pleasant. But again, I have 3 beautiful kids that I am grateful for, and I'm going to focus on that positive part.
How do you like the single life?
It's good, and I'm okay with being by myself. And I think that that's a good thing for me to do right now. I did date someone for about a little over 4 months and it didn't work out. And, you know, that was good. But I don't need to jump back into anything right now. I think that's best.
Right. Do you feel like you're kind of rediscovering yourself all over again, maybe?
I do. I mean, I'm focusing on my company, Real for Real. I'm focusing on the Teresa Giudice show, and focusing on my kids before they go to school. So I'm busy.
Will it be tough for you to watch back this season because you were still with John? He's in the opening credits with you and everything like that. So is that going to be very difficult for you to watch back?
Well, we didn't speak for about 6 months after the breakup. We are friendly right now for now. And because neither of us are dating anyone, so we can have that friendship. I don't know how long depending on one of us gets into a relationship, that'll be more difficult, but it is going to be hard. It's going to be hard for him too, because we broke up a week after filming ended. So that's why I said I was blindsided. That was just like the adjective I used to describe how I felt. And because I was there, you'll see there are certain things that were said this season, and it just took me by surprise.
Yeah, I know. Do you feel like you have closure in that relationship now, or do you feel like you still have any romantic feelings towards him, or do you feel like you've moved on from that? Because I know it's hard to be friends with an ex.
Well, I will say, and I think we both say this about each other, that I've never felt as strongly for another person in my life than I did for John, and he the same. But I think we both kind of have this understanding of I'm not going to take steps backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to go forward in life.
Yeah, I'm sure it seems like she's realistic that they won't be able to sustain this friendship once they both find other people.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if she's going to find someone else, or if she's going to kind of just lay low and stay single for a while.
I feel like maybe she should.
Yeah, me too. But we also caught up with Mr. Bravo himself, Andy Cohen, who dished on his thoughts on everything Jersey.
Everything.
So while we might be done with the season, we had to talk to him about it. Let's see.
Coming off a big Real Housewives of New Jersey finale, this reunion was intense. If we find out that it's true that Louis was investigating the cast, do you think that is that taking it way too far, and could his future on the show be in jeopardy at all?
Well, he's married to a cast member, so it's really about whatever is going on with Teresa.
Do you feel like if Teresa, Melissa, and Joe aren't speaking at the time that filming commences, can you envision that a Real Housewives of New Jersey with that type of dynamic?
I could envision anything.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. There's been a lot of talk that maybe Melissa or maybe Teresa won't be back. Can you? I mean, I can't picture a Real Housewives of New Jersey without the two of them. Can you?
I can imagine anything.
You can imagine anything.
But no, it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Of course, it's hard to imagine the show without either of them. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Was that a really tough reunion for you to kind of be at? I know you said it was a very tough reunion.
Yes.
What was the most shocking part for you?
It was just their level of hatred was at a 10.
Yeah. Out of all the reunions that you have hosted, what would you say is the saddest reunion moment?
That was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
That was one of them. Yeah.
Have there been discussions about Kim Zolciak possibly coming back full time after the split?
We are in the middle of airing, a new season of Atlanta, so we're not really looking at casting for next season.
Have you spoken to her? Is she doing okay?
I did speak to her. It sounds like she's going through it.
A man of few words, but he does give you some gems here and there.
Totally.
But I don't know. I mean, like you said, he can kind of envision anything. So, I mean, it's a possibility that there could be a Jersey without Teresa and Melissa, but my money's on no.
Yeah.
All right, let's recap this week's episode, starting with OC. I'm really enjoying Heather Dubrow this season.
Yeah. I like seeing her family life more. I don't know if that was done on purpose on her part, if she wanted to show off more of her family, but they definitely are. And I enjoy seeing the family dynamic, them going to school, the real emotions there. I think it's interesting.
It is interesting. And it's also interesting, Jen's backstory, because we're starting to get a little bit more about the timeline of her affair with Ryan. And, if she cheated on her husband, it seems like she told Tamra one story and is telling the girls something else. I mean, but I agree with Tamra. It's like, just be honest. Like, it's out there. It's like, I don't know if you're trying to save face. Maybe she doesn't want her kids to find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I again, Team Tamra on this one. I think that why would she lie about this? She said at the party, just be honest. And Jen didn't seem to be really fighting that. So I agree. Just tell the real story, because it's going to come out one way or another.
Yes. I'm still surprised that cut is closing. I want to know why. I feel like they have the funds to keep this up and running. I guess maybe not enough people, maybe after COVID, a lot of people are still working out at home and not going back to the gyms, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, especially being back on the show, I feel like more people would be interested in going back there. I don't know.
I know. If anything, I would have done like a relaunch party,
yes,
rather than like spend all this money on like a closing party.
Money.
Yeah. What did you think about Jen's TikTok posting the day before the cut closure party about her yoga studio going strong?
Super shady. Like she knew what she was doing. Like, you know that one of your good friends is closing her business. Why do you have to like kind of twist the knife a little bit?
Yeah. Although I do think Gina got off easy with this one. I feel like Gina was totally stirring the pot, and they were all just, Gina didn't get the blame for this one. So
no, she definitely didn't. No, she got off kind of scot-free, but I'm sure it'll catch up to her throughout the season. But I feel like by the end of the season, I don't think Tamra and Jen are going to be friends anymore.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think by so Tamra and Jen might not be friends anymore.
That's true.
What do you think about Gina getting so triggered by all of the affair questions?
I kind of agree with Gina being like, why are we like saying that infidelity is okay? Like, as we know, like her ex cheated on her, so I'm sure this really is like something being like, no, it's not something that we should be praising her for stepping out on her marriage. I get that, and it seems like it's going to bother Shannon as well going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just got to get to the bottom of it. Like, clear the air. Either it happened or it didn't happen. Let's just get it all out there. Put our judgments out there and move on. But it seems like it's going to be throughout the season. So
what did you think of Tamra's apology to Shannon? Genuine?
I'm starting to feel like you can't just do whatever you want and then apologize. But I just feel like Tamra kind of is just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me give you a hug and move on. And nothing happened. I
feel like Shannon, at least at this point, I mean, you know, we talked to her. She said like things are fine between them now. But I feel at that point, Shannon still had her wall up and being like, I don't know if I like 100% trust her. You can't, like you said, you can't just say you're sorry for telling me to F a duck 30 times and blaming it on too much alcohol. Like echoing what our commenter said, like you are in your 50s. You're not like in your early 20s anymore. Like maybe rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe don't get to the point where you don't remember things when you're on camera, because the camera's going to remember. It's one thing in real life where you're like, I don't remember, so no one else must remember. There's cameras there. Everyone's going to know what you said and did. So maybe rein in the alcohol a little bit. What
do you think about Taylor's presence here so far? Are you liking it? Does it seem a little odd?
I mean, the acting class seemed a little bit forced to me, but I do enjoy the preview for next episode where Heather and Taylor go at it a little bit. I think that this is interesting. Basically, Heather said that Taylor didn't have the right to offer her this role, and it was kind of a made up thing. So I'm very interested to see that develop more. Right now, I felt like it was just a little bit set up, but
no, I'm excited because we know Taylor can throw down. Like, it's gonna be good. It's really good. But I'm, 3 episodes into the season, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Me too. I'm a big fan of OC. I've been watching since day one, and maybe that helps a little bit to have that connection with it. But they are the OGs.
They are the OGs, and it seems like based on our conversation with Andy that maybe the Trace Amigas will be back full-time, full force next season. So we'll have to wait and see. And then Atlanta is still rolling along, and Kenya, meeting with her doctor, saying that in her 50s, she wants to explore the options of having another baby. Her doctors are kind of advising not to, since she had a really, really complicated pregnancy and delivery. And it seems like, I guess she, still has a lot of eggs that are frozen, but maybe exploring surrogacy or something like that, because it just doesn't seem like it's probably the safest route for her at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I would say maybe surrogate. I mean, not that I'm a doctor giving out medical advice, but I would probably think surrogacy would be a better idea.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy Cohen, look, he has 2 toddlers and he's 55. So, nothing.
Totally. Anderson Cooper too. Yeah. I mean, there's no timeline or timestamp of when you can't hold a copy. She had kids in her 50s too. It seems like it's more and more common, and it's whatever time is right for you is the right time. Sheree putting on this Gucci brunch, which I absolutely love. I appreciate the effort. Sheree breaking down because the girls aren't in a good place, but it does not seem like Marlo and Candy are ever going to get on the same page, especially after, what kind of going down about, Marlo's nephew passing away, Kandi not sending the flowers, not being a good friend. It's just like this storyline I feel is going to drag on for the rest of the season. And by the end, we're going to be so tired of it.
I totally agree. I don't think that there's going to be a resolution here. I mean, when it involves a death of a family member, even though I didn't think Kandi had a lot to do with it, or she didn't have anything to do with it, but just her, being this involved in the aftermath of it. I just feel like there's not going to be a good resolution here. I don't think we're going to be able to just move on. And
no, definitely not. But Kenya still is like one of my favorite housewives. She just like says whatever she wants, especially like in this brunch, like nobody could get a word in because she's just making like these sly comments here and there. And then like Sonia is like kind of stuck in the middle because she's friends with Marlo, also friends with Kandi. And Kenya's like, I can't trust you if you're playing both sides. So it's definitely like it seems like in this group, you have to pick one or the other.
Totally. It's beginning like Jersey a little bit in that way.
It is beginning to be a little bit like Jersey, but we'll keep rolling along and we'll kind of see how this plays out. But all right, well, let's move on over to our social spotlight of the week. Who caught your attention on social media?
Erica Jane. She is looking so good. She posted this little like TikTok montage to this song that everyone keeps posting, Margarita song.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm too old for TikTok, but people keep posting it, and she did this whole song and dance to it, and she just looks fantastic.
She looks fantastic, and I have to kind of echo that because mine is going to go to Kyle Richards because she also looks fantastic. She posted a carousel of photos saying "Life lately," and I don't think she's never looked better. She's posting like all these gym selfies. She's working out. And I guess like she is really good friends with Morgan Wade. I guess, I don't know, a singer that she's becoming really good friends with. I wonder if she'll be on the show next season. But she looks the best she's ever looked. And I think she replied in one of the comments. They were like, oh, are you still sober? And I think in July, she said she's coming up on 1 year sober. So good for her.
We see that with Gina this season 2 on OC. She's sober and she looks better than ever.
She does.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe I got to stop drinking.
I know. I'm about to say the same. I'm like, maybe when my kids are a little bit older.
Right. Seriously. I can't
give me hope for my 50s, these women.
Seriously. Exactly. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Getting Real with the Housewives. Let us know in the comments what you're loving about OC, what you're loving about Atlanta, and we will catch you guys next week.
Bye.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.